Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you guys located. Welcome to episode 120 of Latino Vegano. And you know, guys, I'm Roger. I love doing this type of videos, type of content. But today, I'm gonna be actually answering questions. So I call this as a vegan expert. We call this FAVQ. And then you guys, I'm gonna be getting some of you guys' questions and gonna be answering those questions. So let me know how you think about this format. I'm just gonna be taking questions. Maybe I take a couple depending on the complexity or the length of the questions, and I'm gonna be answering those. You know, we do as many as I can, but today I'm gonna be answering 4 of those ask questions for vegans and vegans get. So I'm gonna be answering those in this episode. So let's get it. All right. So one of the first things I want to say is thank you guys for every week supporting this podcast. Either you watch your videos on YouTube or you are a listener through any of the podcast platform. We really appreciate you guys for that. We love putting content out for y'all. And let me know what you guys want to hear. Last week, I spoke a little bit on my story recently, and now this week I want to actually share or answer some of your asked questions. So let's start with the first questions, right? Let's get this thing going right away. So the first question is, how is the vegan diet healthy? So we get asked this question a lot about how a vegan diet is a healthy diet, because a lot of people think, hey, well, yes, there's no protein in the vegan diet, right? So how is the vegan diet healthy? And let me address this in a few ways, right? So let me break this down. First, I want to talk about what is a vegan diet, or what is a vegan diet imply, right? So the term vegan diet is basically for us is the veganism, is part of veganism, right? It's a veganism way of living that we eliminate, we exclude the use of any animal products for food, clothing, entertainment, or any other purpose. We also eliminate dairy and eggs from our diet. So that's the diet part of veganism, is when a vegan decide to become vegan, so they exclude, they eliminate any animal product or byproduct. So in between the vegan diet or eating vegan, then you have a couple of classifications, right? And the two main ones that I'm going to talk about is the difference between vegan diet and a plant-based diet, right? Because there's a saying that, you know, a vegan can be plant-based, but a plant-based necessarily cannot be vegan. So it's all debatable. It's all a really good topic of conversation. However, I'm going to be clearing those questions out, and then I'm going to segue to is a vegan diet, is an actual healthy diet, right? So what's a vegan diet versus a plant-based diet? So vegan diet is what a vegan eat, as far as to say, I'm eliminating anything that is any animal product. So at that point, there's not necessarily a nutritional or a healthier mindset behind that. So meaning, what I mean is like, if you've never been a person that is a healthier conscious about what you eat, regardless of what kind of lifestyle you have, then even if you go vegan, you're not going to be aware of that. So let's say you didn't have any nutritional information prior to being vegan, then even going vegan, there's still no nutritional information. So you're going to be still consuming what you used to consume, regardless if you transition, right? But it's just going to be in a vegan presentation. What I mean with that is that, so let's say that if you used to eat fried food, you used to eat ice cream as a dessert or cakes and all these different things, going vegan is not going to necessarily make you not eat those things. You're still going to eat those things. You're just going to eat it in a vegan presentation, right? That's all it is. It's just going to be made with ingredients that are cruelty-free or not part of, they don't have any animal byproduct or animal product. So that's going to be the only difference. Now, when we speak about a whole food plant-based diet or a plant-based diet, so we're only speaking about the healthier option or the healthier choice of eating food, especially if you decided to go for a whole food plant-based diet. So that's just they just broke down the eating aspect or the healthier aspect of the vegan diet. They broke it down, and then now they say, okay, well, in between being a vegan diet, you can have a whole food plant-based diet, which is a diet that is a lot more healthier for you, because it talks about eating grain, nuts, seed, vegetable, fruits, all these different food that are gonna be healthy for you. So they broke it down into different micronutrients. So they broke it down that way. Now you have your good fat. Now you're gonna have also your fruit, your vegetable, your nuts, your seed, all the different ones that have all the proteins, all the vitamins, all the minerals, everything that you need to have a sustainable, healthier lifestyle. So that's basically what they done. That's why I mentioned, vegans can't necessarily be plant-based, because you can be a vegan that eat a plant-based diet, especially a whole food plant-based diet, right? But if you're plant-based, you don't necessarily think about how being a vegan is, which implies more than just the diet aspect of it. So to sum it up, one focus more into the overall lifestyle of not just the eating aspect, but we also talk about the ethical part of it, clothing. We also talk about not killing animals, right? Versus a plant-based is just focus only mainly in the diet part of it, on the eating part of it, right? So with that all said, so let's talk about some of the benefits of being vegan or having a whole food plant-based diet, which is probably the one that I will promote the most when it comes to the eating aspect of it. And that way we can go ahead and answer how is a vegan diet healthy. So some of the benefits of being vegan or having a healthier vegan diet or a plant-based whole food plant-based diet is that it offers this include like weight loss. You really truly if you keep yourself eating a whole food plant-based diet, it's very, very, very difficult that you are going to be overweight, right? You can gain weight, you can gain muscle, you can gain all that, but overweight, nah. So especially because a whole food plant-based diet is very nutrient dense. So you have all the nutrients that you need to survive and thrive. So you have all the nutrients that you need, so that's not going to be a problem. You're going to have a low cholesterol level, you're going to have lower blood pressure, and you're going to reduce the risk of heart disease. There's also been a lot of information out there as far as vegan or eating a whole food plant-based diet to reduce cancer. So you're gonna be less risk to have cancer if you have a plant-based or whole food plant-based diet, or even a vegan diet. Then also you're gonna be reducing diabetes. This is some of the benefits of being vegan, and that's why I highly recommend that even if you transition, and if this is the first time you want to dabble into veganism, start with finding the food that basically allows you to have a smooth transition, right? So that we're talking about these vegan meats and all these different rice and different starches and all the different foods that you used to, right? Make it easy for you by finding food that you're familiar with, right? Foods that allows you to make an easier transition, because if you're a person that needs to go step by step, you don't want to go ahead and jump away and eating a whole food plant-based diet, right? You want to be able to kind of ease your way in. Is that's your style? If you're a different breed and then you like to just jump right into it, then by all means, then my advice is to go whole food plant-based diet is the way to go. And then where you're going to keep all the nutrients that you need from your food. And as you eat those nutrients and you eat actually a whole food plant-based diet, then you're going to have everything you need in between that. And then you don't need to be eating anything else or anything else. So I personally, I'm about 80% whole food plant-based, and I still have about a 20% that I might go out and have, a Beyond Burger or something around that, Impossible Burger, and every other now and then, just to keep a nice balance, especially when you go out to restaurants and places like that. But for majority of the year, I'm eating nuts, seed, vegetable, fruits. That's what I keep it in that context. So I do like a 80-20 rule basically on that sense. So that's. I hope that helps answer that question. Then people definitely see some benefit of being vegan. A vegan diet is healthy because it excludes all the meat or other animal byproduct. This means that vegans are not consuming food that are high in saturated fat and cholesterol. They also avoid eating food that contains anti-aging clogging fats, and they don't eat anything with added sugar or salt. Mostly our sugar comes from fruit, and I know a lot of people are scared about sugar, right? And I think, yeah, sugar is bad, but we want to be able to focus on eating natural sugars, right? Like fruits. Fruit have a lot of, it's sweet, and some people are scared of fruits just because of the sweet. And hey, man, there's nothing wrong. That's like the most natural giving God food that you can give. You have a tree that produces this beautiful thing, and you can just literally just eat it right off the tree. So what more natural you want them from that, right? So I see a lot of people scared from fruits just because of that. So carbohydrates is not that bad, guys. So let's put it that way. A plant-based diet consists of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and nuts. This type of diet has been shown to reduce risk of heart disease by up to 80%. It also helps with weight loss as well as lowering blood pressure level. A whole food plant-based diet is the most nutritious way to eat and will give you all the nutrients that you need in order to be healthy. More and more people are turning vegan, and this is because they want to live a healthier lifestyle. Vegans have a lower rate to heart disease, diabetes, and cancer than meat eaters. The vegan diet is becoming increasingly popular because it's healthy for you. I keep telling you guys that. So let's right away into question number 2. So that was question number 1. If you guys have any question about it, or if you have anything to comment, please do it in the comment sections or my YouTube channel or any of my social media. You can always reach out to me either in any of my social media, and I always respond. You know, I'm always there for you guys, so you let me know what you guys need, and I'll definitely be glad to answer the question or any doubts that you guys have. So how can a vegan get protein? The protein question, that is always one that comes out too. So that's why I try to choose one of the 4 top questions that vegans get, and then the protein question is very, very, very core, very common. So the one thing, and I'm gonna take this from Robert Cheek, right? He always say, hey, so when have you ever seen a person that is deficient in protein? Which is totally true. I hardly seen that. What I see more is people getting sick for eating too much protein. So with that said, thank you, Robert, for that little snippet right there, a little comment, which is definitely a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and say that there is protein in everything, that pretty much every food that you eat. There is pretty much. Fruits have protein, vegetables have protein. The difference is the amount, the quantity that you need of protein, right? So the only reason why people eat animal products or eat meat, and then they say it's because protein, is because those animals have been fed, or they eat basically the same things we eat. They eat corn, they eat soy, and then that's how they get their protein. And guess what? And then at the same time, you get that protein. So the point here is, why filter your food? Just go straight to the source. Go straight to corn. Go straight to soy. Eat that for yourself, and then you eating the actual root of where the protein is coming from, basically in the context. So for me, that's all it takes to make that decision. With that said, let's talk about the protein part of it, right? A plant-based diet is healthy and sustainable lifestyle that provide all the nutrients needed for a healthy body. It is possible to get enough protein from plant sources. You just need to listen and watch this video that I'm about to put together and what I'm going to tell you guys about protein. Vegan diets are becoming more popular in the Western world due to the high benefits for the environment and the human health. Like I mentioned, one of the most common questions that vegans get from people is, how do you get your protein? Vegan diets are typically high in carbohydrate, such as whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. They are low in fat and higher in fiber, also rich in omega-3 and fatty acid. There are many ways to get vegan protein. to get enough of it. There's just many ways that you can actually get to protein, but it's important to make sure that don't forget about all the nutrients like iron and vitamins. There are many ways to get proteins in the vegan diet, and this is some of the ones that I'm going to include: beans, peas, lentils, seitan, nuts, tofu, and tempeh. Those are at least six or seven sources of protein right there for you, but there's way many. I actually put a video not too long ago on my YouTube channel. It's a little short video where I talk about vegan protein, and I mentioned some of the vegan proteins out there in the market, some of the vegan proteins out there. There are many other ways to get proteins in the vegan diet. You can eat more vegetables. Vegetables such as spinach and broccoli contains more protein than you might think. So it's interesting because people don't look about it this way, but you can get protein from vegetable, and then spinach and broccoli is high in protein. Why do you think a lot of bodybuilders, they eat broccoli and they eat spinach as part of their diet, right? Just because it's high in protein, and it allows them to have a very more sustainable, healthier diet to some extent. Not only bodybuilders, but people in general, right? Beans and legumes on your meals. Beans like black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas are all great sources of protein as well. So please, people, don't be scared. Proteins is all over the vegan kingdom, all over the plant-based, whole food, plant-based kingdom. You're not gonna be deficient in protein. You can always find protein in all these different meals that I mentioned, but on the other part is you need more protein. You could also supplement it, right? You can also use protein powder. I do not necessarily recommend protein powders, right? I recommend a whole food plant-based diet. So get your sources, get your nutrients from food, right? Actually from food. But you can also make your own protein powder, right? With chia, with oats, and so there's a couple of ways. I might have to do a video about that too. I saw a video the other day that was like pretty good, so I might make a video. Actually, I might make a video about that too, where I'm gonna show how you can make your own protein powder. Is that you're concerned about it, that too, right? But you necessarily don't need it. You can just eat your protein from food, and you should be fine, because you want to be able to look at it from a long-term perspective. Now, on the other hand, if you decided to go use powders, just find one that has the most natural ingredients possible, right? The more natural ingredient doesn't have too many heavy metals. So that's the key right there for a sustainable lifestyle. So don't worry about protein. You can find proteins in the vegan diet in different type of meals. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So question 3. So let's go right into question number 3. How can vegans get calcium? So calcium. How can vegans get calcium if you don't eat dairy or drink milk? So where do you get your calcium? So guess what? So again, if you eat a whole food plant-based diet, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but the more you focus on eating whole food plant-based diet, you are not gonna be deficient in any nutrient, because it's very nutrient dense. It's a diet that has all the nutrients in the meals that you eat. So if you eat your carbohydrates, your protein, your vegetables, your fruits, you're gonna have all those nutrients combined in those meals. So you don't have to worry about if something is missing. Yeah, you can go do your checkout to see if you need to up something that is you're low in, right? But at the same time, you're gonna have all those nutrients in within the whole food plant base. A vegan diet is packed with calcium-rich food, such as leafy greens, vegetables, nuts, soy products, beans, and tofu. Vegans can also take supplements to increase their calcium intake. That's something that you need. I mentioned it's similar to what the protein does. There are many ways vegans can get enough calcium in their diet. Some of these include eating dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, high in calcium. I love kale. I love spinach as well too. I eat spinach pretty much every day, and I eat kale. Well, I eat kale also too a lot. I haven't eaten kale in a while, but there was a time that, as you guys know, my old nickname was Kalehead, because kale was like it was like a superfood, and I used to eat kale every single day. Eating tofu, beans, and other soy products, right? drinking fortified plant milk or almond milk that also have calcium. So you can look at when you buy your milk. So let's say you buy plant-based milk. In this case, you look to see the calcium percentage. It's going to tell you in the back of the carton box, right? So that's how you can up your calcium intake from a plant-based perspective. The following are some of the best vegan sources for calcium. I'll give you a few more too. Like I already mentioned, calcium fortified soy milk, rice milk, hemp milk, or oatmeal. So any of those milk. You don't like rice milk? Well, can you try oatmeal? You don't like oatmeal? Try hemp milk. Try rice milk. Find the plant-based milk or plant-based milk that you like the most. It's like the other day a guy posted on my Instagram. He was like, you should not call it milk because it's not from animal. You should call it almond juice or something. I'm like, dude, I don't really care how you call it. Just don't drink the milk from the animal. That's all. I don't really care if you want to call it milk, if you want to call it juice, drink, Power Ranger, Power Gate. I don't really care how you would call it. Just don't drink the thing. Just don't drink cow's titty. Don't say calf's milk or liquid or fluid, whatever you want to call it. So that's my whole thing. No, I don't care that. But anyway, so going back to it. So like I was saying, any of the plant-based milks work. Find just the one that says have a percentage of calcium in it. Tofu made with calcium, magnesium, and chloride. So find tofu. Tofu is going to have calcium. You can have almonds. You can just eat almonds like that. Almonds have calcium too, also. Blackstrap molasses, that's high in calcium. Kale, like I said, and collard green. So as you can tell, just find the food that are high in calcium. And I'm actually have a list that I can share with y'all that have even more food that are high in calcium. So I got tofu. We have about 100 grams. Soybeans, about 175 milligrams, or like 1 cup. You got spinach. You got 0.5 cup of spinach. Tahini, edamame, sheep peas, chia seed, orange, broccoli, fig, sweet potato, carrot, almond, quinoa, tomato, and arugula. Out of all these things that I mentioned that are high plant-based sources of calcium, I'm gonna tell you what I ate: tofu, I ate spinach, I had tahini, sheep peas, chia seed, orange, I ate broccoli, sweet potato. Sweet potato on a regular basis. Sweet potato is like my main two complex carbohydrate. Then you got carrots, almond, quinoa, tomato. Yeah, I eat pretty much all of these. The only thing that I don't eat on a regular basis is arugula and edamame. Other than that, everything. I love fig, but I like fig. I like the cookies. No, but yeah, I love fig too. So, but from that point on, I eat pretty much all of those meals, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you incorporate these meals into your regular diet, into what you regularly eat on a regular basis, you don't even have to worry about, like, if something is lacking. I'm not saying that don't do checkups and see if everything's good in you. But what I'm saying with this is like, if you eat and incorporate this meal, this type of food, just as a regular basis, you're gonna be eating those nutrients. You're gonna be eating all those different things because you already have them with you, right? And then the last but not least, because I told you we're gonna be 4, right? Is how can vegans get B12? B12 is being out. The question has been out since I went vegan like 20 years ago, and I think even before that. B12 has been always the main discussion. I doesn't hear B12 question brought up as much with this new generation per se. However, it's always been one of those questions that no matter where you go, people are like, oh, you're vegan? How you get your B12? How you get your protein? So it's along the same line, right? Because they always have this thing that B12 basically is a bacteria that is in meat, right? And this is the way this happened is because B12 is a bacteria that is in the floor, ground, dirt. And then when cows, for example, eat grass, they eat the B12, or they take this bacteria. So when people eat a piece of meat, it has this bacteria in it, and that's how they get B12, right? So it's a bacteria, so it's all over the place, right? So with that said, People feel like just because you don't eat meat, you're gonna be a B12 deficiency. And there's ways that you can find B12 in between a plant-based diet. So don't worry. We get plenty of B12 with too. And then again, if you feel like by eating food or whatnot is not your way and you rather supplement it, I'll let you make that judgment. But you can find B12 in other sources besides supplement, right? You can supplement. It's like anything. And this is not a vegan thing, because I know people that are meat eaters that also supplement with B12 because they need a boost of energy. So this is not a vegan thing. This is a message for everyone, right? You need B12. You can find it either on supplement or you can find it in food. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of foods that you can find, ways that you can find B12 in between a plant-based sources, right? That way you can find it from plant-based sources. So B12 is a water-soluble vitamin that is essential for the metabolism of every cell in our body. It can be found in animal products and sometimes in some type of vegetable. There are many food sources that contain B12, like nutritional yeast, seaweed, soybeans, tempeh, and more. Other non-vegan options are supplements or fortified cereals. Fortified food should be provided at least 10% of the daily intake of vitamin B12, which is 2 micrograms per day for adults. The best vegan sources for B12 are nutritional yeast, fortified soy milk, and supplement. Or I've seen food, like for example, I've seen food like they have this soy product or seitan product made out of, let's say chicken flavor, for example, vegan chicken, and they have B12 in it, right? So, but my main source is a nutritional yeast. You can find B12 on nutritional yeast, right? And if you eat it in a consistent basis, you're gonna be taking your doses, so you don't necessarily have to supplement it. Fortified soy milk, or not necessarily soy milk, it could be any plant-based milk. Some plant-based milk, if you read on the back of the plant-based milk, it tells you where you can find. They're gonna tell you when do they have, if they have B12 or not, so you can get it from that as well. So now we're talking about seaweed. Seaweed, you can buy seaweed, they have B12 as well. And same way with tempeh and some other soy products. So those are a list of my top 3 or top 4 B12 sources, and you can get it from fortified flakes. I like it from my nutritional yeast because that's how I get my B12. And then from whenever I do drink soy milk or any type of plant-based milk that has B12, that I get it from there too as well. So there you go, guys. B12 is not a problem. You can find B12 all over the place whenever you want. You don't want to find it. Worst case scenario, if you feel like you need to up it and then a little lot quicker, you can supplement it. You can find several B12 supplements all over the place. And then I don't like the hype, but I don't carry the concept that, it's difficult to find B12 for being yada, 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 yada. Nah, if you really want to find it, you'll find it. Trust me. It's difficult because you want to make it difficult, not because it actually is. Difficult is just a conception. It's a way of thinking, right? It's like you can either choose to think that things are difficult, or you can either choose to think that things are easy. So difficult or hard, that's just a mind thing, right? So with that said, it's the same thing about going vegan. You can make it difficult, you can make it easy. So it's just all on you. Do you want to put the energy towards transitioning? Do you want to put the energy towards changing the way you eat, going through emotions, going through people's comments and negativity and different things? So it's the way you want to approach it. Based on that, easy or difficult depends. It's just, like I say, it's just a mindset thing, right? It's like climbing up the mountain that nobody Mount Everest, that nobody ever reached the top. Everybody whole like, this is too difficult to go there. There's one guy said, no, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to do it. And as soon as that guy did it, everybody else started doing it because at that point it was not difficult anymore because it was accomplished. So that's the same thing with being vegan. So anyway, guys, I hope this is helpful. I gave you 4 questions. Let me know what you think about the format. I'm going to be answering more questions further down the line. I love answering questions because I think it opens a good debate, a good conversation, and we definitely all can benefit out of the answers. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Right there in YouTube, you can subscribe. We on Spotify, we in Amazon, we in Google, and we're in Apple Podcasts, all those platforms too, and any other platform that you want to listen to your podcast to, also Stitcher, all those different platforms. So I appreciate you guys for the love, and see you guys next week. Okay, take care, guys.